Hey, what's up, y'all? I've got this area on my property where I don't ever hunt it, and I want to put a food plot there, or kind of like a food highway, I guess you could say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go till it up, plant some clover. Right now is the best time to do it, especially for clover, because there's no leaves on the trees, there's no canopy over top of it, so it's going to get the maximum amount of sunlight that's possible. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm here in the middle of the woods. I'm on a trail that splits my property in half. There is nothing here. I've never hunted it. I have a ton of deer movement on this area, in this area, because I put a camera up here on this end of it, and I put a camera up on the other end of the trail, and there is a ton of deer movement on this trail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant this trail with clover. It's like March the 7th or 8th. The leaves are not coming in yet. I see a few green things on some leaves here, on some vines and stuff. So it's not going to be too long, but we still got a little bit. What's going to happen is when I plant this, it's going to get a lot more sunlight, because you can see there's no canopy yet with the leaves to block that sunlight, which there's not really a whole lot of trees in here. But once that sunlight, once the leaves get on the trees, that sunlight's going to be minimum. Right now, the sun is coming in from every direction. So you get a lot more sunlight if you plant now when the leaves are off of the trees. And if you plant this early, you can plant clover, because clover is just absolutely resilient. So hopefully this works out. Hopefully this becomes a food highway. I will keep track of it and let you all know how this trail ended up. But right now I'm going to fire up the tractor, get this tilled up. You don't have to use a tractor and a tiller. You don't have to even use a regular push tiller. I'm just going to throw the clover out by hand the old school way. You don't have to have all the bells and whistles to get something like this done. You put a little bit more work into it, you can use a rake or whatever in the world you need to use. But to get a little food highway type area like this, to get food in a spot you wouldn't normally have it, first things first, always clean up limbs, tree limbs and all that. If you're going to be using a tiller or tractor like that, you always want to clean up the area, clean big trees if they fall on big limbs, any of that stuff. The smaller limbs I don't really worry about, because that tiller will roll right through them. But I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up and get to tilling it, and then we'll get this seed in the ground. All right, I got the limbs out of the way. I'm gonna fire up this tractor, get the tiller set to where I need it, and I'm just gonna go about a tiller width and a half on this smaller part, and then it widens out once you get on up. And then I'll kind of go like this, and it'll kind of create a little bowl there where I got my feeder up. I'm gonna take it down, but this is only gonna be probably a 30 or 40 yard food stretch. What I got here is this big tine foundation clover. It's got like 4 or 5 different clovers in it. I'm just gonna throw this out old school, get this thing planted, get it drug. I'll probably go a couple trips back and forth to press it in with the tractor, press it in the ground, or I might just back drag my bucket. So let's get this thing planted here and get out of here. It's getting kind of late in the day. It's probably about 2 o'clock by now, so the old school way. I elected just to roll back and forth with it with a tractor to pack it down. I couldn't get the bucket even because the ground's uneven a little bit, but that's it right there. Hopefully something grows, but if you're going to do little plots like this, right now is the time to do it because there's no canopy, there's no leaves on the trees or anything like that, so you'll get a lot more sunlight. You can do clover, chicory, things that will last in the wintertime. I've had really good luck with planting clover. Clover, you can frost seed clover when it's 30 degrees outside, or you can plant it in the snow. I've seen people throw it in the snow and just let it melt and it plants and it grows. But clover is probably definitely your most resilient food plot to plant, especially right now, this time of the year. I know it's going to get 30 degrees here in a couple days again, but I'm not worried about the clover at all. I'm pretty sure it will be just fine. But right now is the time to plant these little plots. That way there's no leaves on the trees. You get sunlight. I'll keep you updated in a month or two when that thing's growing, hopefully. And if it don't grow, then I'll let you know if it didn't grow. So the dirt looks pretty good. Turned up really nice. I'm happy with it. If you don't have the means, scratch the ground with a rake. I mean, it's a little bit more work, but you get the benefits of having food in an area where you don't normally have food, because deer are going to use that. They're going to come through there. They're going to travel to get that food source. Especially if you got a highly traveled area, it might help you out to let them browse as they're traveling. It might slow them down a little bit. So always a good idea to throw these little small food plots in there just to maybe slow a deer down. They may just keep on trucking, but it will probably slow them down enough to where you might be able to get a shot at them. So that's all I got for you today. Hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully this encourages somebody to get out there and get some small food plots in right now before the leaves get on. So like always, hit that like and subscribe. Keep following along. We'll keep pumping these out. Thanks, y'all.